The three lamas remained submerged in the vision lake. Buddhists everywhere held their breath. The 16th Dalai Lama and the Panchen Lama took it in turns to change the 17th Dalai Lama's nappies. Sophia Alderson was outraged about the course the Church of England had taken. She was beautiful when she was angry. She told her followers God had never seen anything like it before. He was shocked, he was speechless, he was gutted. The Church of England had engaged in blatant commercialisation on a scale that not even Pope John had ever dared to try. God couldn't believe it, Sophia said. He was seriously considering another flood. Sophia's followers kept on nodding. Sophia and the Blessed Virgin placed the blame squarely on the Archbishop of Canterbury's shoulders for supping with the devil, Edgar Malroy. Sophia and her followers started picketing the churches cum supermarkets run by the Church of England, as well as the metaphysical betting shops. They booed anyone who came out of churches with shopping bags and tried to pull off the furry pink question marks the priests wore when they came to work on their bicycles. Around this time, Sophia published Cosmic Newsflash Part 2. On the cover of Cosmic Newsflash Part 2 was a picture of Edgar Malroy with little red horns sprouting from his head. The book, like its predecessor, was filled with bright pictures of shrines and the Virgin Mother. The book claimed that the prophecies written in the Book of Revelations were being fulfilled one after the other. Drastic steps had to be taken by the world's governments to avoid calamity, the book claimed. For one thing, all wild animals had to be dressed in woolen trousers and waistcoats urgently. Nose picking had to stop, as did a multitude of other things. In the last chapter of Cosmic Newsflash Part 2, Sophia claimed that the Holy Mother of God had told her that Edgar's unholy mission, his goal, was nothing less than the destruction of religion. Sophia said the world had to act. All metaphysical bets should be made illegal. Edgar, she said, for the sake of mankind's eternal fate, had to be stopped. 4 million copies of the Cosmic Newsflash Part 2 were sold worldwide. The profit went on wool. Lots and lots of wool. On the 15th of July 2026, the first religion in the world ceased to exist as a result of having overspent at the metaphysical betting shop. Called Kamura, the religion was very small and hardly anyone had heard of it. Its founder, Andrew Temple from Birmingham, had phoned Who Knows TV and bet £400,000 that Kamura was completely true. In fact, that was just about all anyone was ever able to find out about Kamura before it ceased to exist. Edgar Malroy gave each and every one of his staff a bonus when he heard of the demise of Kamura. He and I then danced around his office. By the end of the week, another 5 esoteric and unheard of religions were no more, having made one too many metaphysical bets. Sceptism Inc. opened more metaphysical betting shops in the premises that had formerly belonged to the religions that had bet themselves out of existence. Edgar bought a little black book, which he kept in his cheap suit, and wrote down in it the name of each of the religions that went to the wall. Edgar would whip out the little book and read the names every 2 hours or so, making sure they had not disappeared, that he had not dreamed the whole thing. For the first time in a long while, Edgar looked really happy. Sceptism Inc. continued to move surplus food stocks to the places where the stuff was needed most in their fleet of aging white ships with question marks on their bows and sterns. When New Guinea was hit by a massive tidal wave, Scepticism Inc. led the relief effort. It funded literacy programs in Guinea-Bissau, Malai, Ethiopia, Oman, and the Upper Volta. It paid off third world countries' bank loans, cared for refugees, and prevented another 4 major wars, 2 attempted coups, and untold civil wars by giving everyone involved in the disputes more money than they knew what to do with. Scepticism Inc. set up 15 institutes to aid in the transfer of technology from the developed world to the developing world, increased its handouts to hospitals, and continued to make the largest contribution to such organizations as the United Nations Children's Fund. Scepticism Inc. also began building 5 massive digging machines which would, when finished, each weigh over 20,000 tons and would be the largest mobile land machines ever made. Another general council of the Roman Church was summoned and sat for 3 weeks. Rumour that a deal had been struck between the anti-chewing popes was rife. Then, on the 23rd of July, the General Council made its decision known. It denounced the 3 current popes of bickering and humiliating the Church, dismissed them for heresy, and elected from their own midst a 4th pope, a Cardinal Wilson. All hell broke loose. Immediately, Pope Ingram, Pope Maurice, and Pope Phillips declared the General Council null and void. They said Pope Wilson's election was illegal. The newly elected Pope Wilson demanded that all the other popes acknowledge him as the true pope. When they failed to do this, he excommunicated the lot of them and placed a ridiculous amount of money on the bet that he was the vicar of Christ, as was the custom for newly elected popes. This led to a frantic bout of metaphysical betting as Catholics all over the world backed their pope with cash. In just 12 hours, another £22 million was spent on the question of which of the popes really was God's messenger.